My guest is Alex Lasry. He is the CEO of the FIFA World Cup 2026 New York, New Jersey host committee. The U.S. is hosting the FIFA World Cup for the first time in 32 years this summer. New York, New Jersey will host 8 FIFA World Cup 2026 matches at MetLife Stadium. The schedule includes 5 group stage matches, 1 round of 32 match, 1 round of 16 match, and the championship match on July 19th. Alex, thanks for joining me on Sports Business Radio. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. I've had your dad on before. Let's start there. What led to your seat? You're sitting in the CEO seat. This is a big undertaking, one of the biggest undertakings in the history of the New York, New Jersey area as far as a sporting event begins. How did you get to this place?
Yeah, well, I think, I was working in the Biden administration, running travel and tourism, and the World Cup and Olympics were kind of part of my portfolio. And when the term ended, Tammy Murphy reached out to me saying that they were looking to bring on a single CEO to help out. And for me being able to, come back home where I grew up and put on what is going to be the largest sports and entertainment event that the world has seen, was something that you couldn't really pass up, right? This is one of kind of the biggest and I think one of the best opportunities that you're going to have in sports. To have the final here, which is going to be the largest sporting event ever, was just a unique opportunity. And hoping that my past experiences in the administration, with the Bucks, the DNC convention, White House, et cetera, can all lead me to being able to put on a successful World Cup.
What's the anticipated economic impact of this event on the New York, New Jersey area?
Yeah, so we're looking at over $3 billion of economic impact for the region. Over 26,000 jobs supported as a result of this event. And when I look at this, the economic impact during the event is important, but I like to think about what's the impact, 5-10 years after. And what I think the biggest things that we're trying to put forth is really the trying to continue to make sure that New York, New Jersey stays the sports and entertainment capital of the world. And I think that's what we really want to show. And I think also kind of more macro, that the United States is the place if you want to put on a sports and entertainment event, right? The demand and competition for these events have just gotten bigger. And greater, right? You're seeing all over the world, people are bidding and competing and wanting to put on these events. And as, things are becoming more automated and, more things are on, you're seeing more things on social media, YouTube, right? Kind of shorter clips that are all pre-taped, et cetera. Sports is still the one thing that's live and that has to be live. And so and in real life, right? Like these are experiences that you go to. And so these are massive tourism drivers, huge kind of drivers of economic impact. And so during the over $3 billion during the event is massive, but making sure that New York, New Jersey stays the sports and entertainment capital of the world that'll lead to further events in the next, 5-10 years, is for me kind of like the biggest lasting legacy that we can leave after this World Cup.
Many people are interested in the division between FIFA and what they control with World Cup and what the local host committee controls. I know with MetLife Stadium, obviously they run their own venue too, so you've got another key stakeholder there. How does that all work? Because I think people are confused about, does FIFA come in and just take over? What's the local organizing committee's role? Can you explain that a little bit?
So I kind of look at this as, this is it's a partnership. And while there are certain things that FIFA controls and that they're supposed to run and the host committee is supposed to run, this is a partnership between FIFA, the host committee, New York City, New York State, New Jersey, and the federal government, right? Everything needs to be in tune and working together to ensure that this event is successful. And if one isn't kind of rowing in the same direction, it could hurt the entire operation. And so, for us, we look at ourselves as kind of having 4 pillars. So safety and security, transportation, fan engagement, and economic impact. So we're working with all of the local, state, federal partners on making sure that that the games, that inside MetLife Stadium and then everything happening outside, are everyone's able to have a safe and secure environment. We work on the transportation plan, so with all the local partners, on ensuring that people are able to get to and from the game in an efficient manner, but also around the region, in a seamless way. And then the fan engagement. So, kind of all of our FIFA fan engagements, the fan zones that'll be popping up all around the region, ensuring that, those are going to be, not just put on well, but that we're driving people here, right? We're expecting over, around 2 million visitors over the course of those 40 days. So it's important that we're giving people things to do and places to go watch the game and celebrate, and then ensuring that that the region is realizing the economic impact. So those are kind of our four pillars, but really this is a partnership, and one where we're incredibly lucky to be working so well with FIFA, and all of our friends in government.
With the requirements for the stadium, I've read things like, you got to have minimum 40,000 seats. You've got to have natural grass. Obviously, you've got to have state-of-the-art locker rooms and facilities there. MetLife Stadium checks all those boxes. Is there anything else that FIFA says, this is absolutely a non-negotiable, we have to have this when we come to a venue?
Look, those are all part of the negotiations that happened. I think this was like 6-7 years ago.
Right.
So what you're looking at, coming to the U.S., you're actually lucky because the facilities are already there, and they're all state of the art, right? The NFL is one of the biggest sporting organizations in the world. You're not getting a tier C stadium. You're getting A plus. And so anywhere around the country, you're getting A plus stadium, but especially at MetLife, right? You've got two teams that play there. It's, I think, it's one of the largest NFL stadiums, or actually stadiums, I think, in the world. You've got concerts that have been there, WrestleMania, Super Bowls, right? There's nothing that MetLife Stadium hasn't seen. And so I think for FIFA, it checked all the boxes. We've got, the grass that's being grown locally at Tuckahoe Farms in New Jersey. So that'll be coming in I think in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We got to clean the stadium, right? So FIFA, pretty much does a buyout of the stadium, and they really control it. And they kind of come in and, we make sure that, all of FIFA's partners are able to kind of have their activations and advertising, et cetera. And it's really one where, you kind of come in, take it over, and then you got to put it back how you found it. And, those are kind of the rules of the road. And honestly, on a smaller scale, right, the same thing we had to do with the DNC convention when we had that in Milwaukee, right? The DNC kind of comes in, does a full buyout, takes it over. More that you have to obviously do for the World Cup. But they and again, that's really, again, a big part of the partnership is ensuring that we're able to kind of get everything that not just FIFA wants, but that's needed to put on a successful World Cup and make sure that people leave there saying, this was the best World Cup I attended, and we can't have another 32 years before it comes back to MetLife.
I've had people on with LA28. I think it's so interesting when you have a long runway to the event. I mean, like you just said, 6 or 7 years ago, this was awarded to North America. So many things have changed in the last 6 or 7 years. Is there something that stands out to you that is like, wow, this is really something that we didn't anticipate 6 or 7 years ago that we need to be prepared for when we actually host this in July?
Look, I started a year ago, so 6 or 7 years ago, obviously the world was a different place, but that's the case no matter what, right? Like, you're looking at close to almost a decade of events happening. There's going to be a lot of changes, but I think the more things change, also the more things stay the same, right? MetLife Stadium is, the footprint's the same. The transportation network is the same. Kind of, being able to put on an event. I like to say at the stadium is stuff that we've done 100 times, right? It's a bigger scale, but only 80,000 people fit, not only, but 80,000 people fit in the stadium, whether it's the World Cup, WrestleMania, Taylor Swift. right? It's the same amount of people inside the stadium. What makes the World Cup so unique is all the stuff that happens outside, right? So you're going to have a couple million people coming here, many of whom probably won't set foot in MetLife Stadium for the final, but are looking for where are the fan engagements places, where are the fan zones, and that's why we've got so many fan activations around the region. I think probably we'll have the most fan zones and fan engagement sites of any host city, and that's because we really want to show off all that New York and New Jersey have to offer. And you want to give people the opportunity to say, hey, I was at the World Cup, whether you were inside the stadium or not. You want people to have the experience and for people to say, I was there to root on my country and to be a part of the World Cup. And so people are going to travel to our region. They might go to a game, they might not. And if they don't go to a game, they're still going to say, I was at the World Cup. And I think that's what makes the World Cup so unique. And our ability to provide affordable and accessible experiences that are also authentic to the region is what's going to make this such a special event.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you bring up affordability because I'm reading $10,000 potentially for tickets to the final. It's going to be one of the hottest tickets in the history of sports, which is great. But I think it is important, as you outlined, that there's these peripheral events going on. So if you can't afford a ticket or secure a ticket to the final or one of the matches at MetLife Stadium, you're able to go to one of these satellite parties or watch events and take that in as well. Are you guys responsible for the logistics of those events in addition to what's happening at MetLife Stadium?
So when you look at the, kind of the four pillars that I spoke about, transportation and fan engagement, those are a big part of it. And so when we're talking about fan engagement, we're looking at everything that's happening outside of MetLife Stadium. And so, we've got, a number of our activations. We just announced Sports Illustrated as our Jersey fan hub. So in Harrison, New Jersey, where the Red Bulls and Gotham play, that'll be a major activation site. The state of New Jersey has announced its EDA grant program, $5 million to help stand up and grow fan zones across the state of New Jersey. Announced a similar program for New York State, and she's already made announcements on a number of fan activations that'll happen. And then we've got a number that we'll be announcing in New York City. But we've already announced obviously the fan village at Rockefeller Center, and our event at the U.S. Tennis Center in Queens. We'll have some more announcements on those coming up, but that's what I think is really exciting for us, right? It's going to be all of the organic places to go and to experience, and then making sure that we're also providing a transportation. What makes New York, New Jersey also so unique is it's already got probably one of the best public transportation networks, in the country. And so you can kind of get anywhere in New York via or rideshare. And so, and in New Jersey. So I think that's really what we're really excited about. The games are going to be great, but I think what we're also really excited about is all of the fan experiences that we're going to have outside of MetLife Stadium. And just lastly, we have 8 games. It's a 40-day World Cup. So what are you doing on the other 32 days? That's what we want to provide. That's the experience. We want people to have nonstop fun, nonstop action, and to be a part of all that the region has in an authentic way.
As I mentioned previously, I've had Olympic organizers on, people from the NFL to talk about the Super Bowl. Security. This is always a big thing around events. Are you guys responsible for security, or is that a FIFA responsibility?
I think everyone's responsible for security, right? At the end of the day, again, we always say this is FIFA's event, right? It is the FIFA World Cup. We are their partner, and we work with, New York, New Jersey, the feds to ensure that we're going to have a safe and secure event. And we want to make sure that everything FIFA's doing is going to be safe and secure. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing is safe and secure. And so, what makes, again, our region, I think, so unique is we've got the best law enforcement in the country, right? You're looking at NYPD, New Jersey State Troopers, the New York State Troopers. You're just not getting a law enforcement that you're getting a law enforcement that's seen everything, right?
Hmm.
And New York, New Jersey, kind of being, the capital of the world. You're dealing with threats that on any given day that no one else is dealing with. And so I think when I think about, the safety and security of our region for these events, there's no one and no group of law enforcement or group of people that I'd want in charge of this more than the New Jersey State Troopers, the NYPD, and the New York State Troopers. And I can say they have been fantastic to work with. Everyone's, I think, knows that this is going to be a big event. You also got to remember it's not just the World Cup here. You got America 250, you got Sailfort, right? Like there's a lot going on this summer. And they're I know that they're up to the task, and we're lucky to be working with them to ensure that this is going to be a successful event.
Well, and I would imagine you're going to have people coming to New York, New Jersey that have never been to North America before. They're coming in from all over the world. So just getting around, like what transportation do I catch? How do I, like, just directional signage and how to get from point A to point B. Do you guys have an app? How are you helping people kind of navigate? I've never been here before, but this is how I get from point A to B.
Yeah, so there will be an app. We will have a massive, what we call TDM, travel demand management, right? So we'll have a huge, kind of comms operation around transportation, locations of the fan zones, how to get everywhere. We're going to have an army of volunteers who will be able to help. But again, this is what makes New York, New Jersey so unique is we are the melting pot of the world. Every day we deal with people who speak, different languages and, who are coming here who might not speak English or English is their second language. So, it's a bigger scale. But it's not something that our region hasn't dealt with. It's just a bigger scale. And so, our comms team and our transportation team and security team are working, round the clock to ensure that we're going to get people the information they need in the languages they need so that they can get where they need to be. And also kind of understand, what the, kind of what the rules of the road are at all these different events and all over. Because, I've been to some European football matches. A different level of enthusiasm and some different level of things that are allowed to happen in those stadiums than are allowed to happen in our stadiums. So kind of trying to make sure that everyone is ready for what's going to happen.
I mean, I've been to European football matches too, and one of the things that jumped out at me right away was visiting fans have their own concessions, bathrooms. Like you're literally removed from the home fan, so you can't get into disagreements or have arguments. When you come to FIFA World Cup matches, there are no sections that you're relegated to. So that's a difference right there. I would anticipate everything will go smoothly, but if you're coming from Europe, you're like, wow, we can sit amongst the opposing team fans.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I went to the UEFA finals, and you see like sparklers going off and everything, and it's like, oh, this is this is a different kind of fandom. But then also, you go to a Knicks playoff game and see what happens outside Madison Square Garden, and you go, oh yeah. So again, this is I think what makes New York, New Jersey, so apt to host the final is because we have all of that, right? All the type of fans, all of the fun shenanigans, everything. And I think at the end of the day, it's gonna, the World Cup is, I like to compare it to, or say, the craziest stat that I've seen is the last World Cup final was viewed by the same amount of people as the last 13 Super Bowls combined.
Wow.
So when you think about, the World Cup, football, the Super Bowl, football being America's sport, football is the world sport. And so we're going to be welcoming the world here. And, that means like we're going to, welcome all of the fun, different, fandoms that'll be coming here. And Kind of also looking forward to showing them how we do it here in New York, New Jersey.
How often are you talking to your CEO counterparts with the other host committees?
We're talking every day. There it's just trying to get ideas right. What makes America unique is you've almost got 13 host countries right here in America
Mm.
because you've got so many, you've got different cities and regions with all their own their own city laws, their own state laws, their own localities, right? We're two regions. So you're almost dealing with, a number of different hosts, right? 11 host countries all into one. And so just trying to get different ideas, right? Hey, what are you guys doing on transportation? What are you seeing? What have you kind of found that's worked? You've hosted you guys just hosted the Bay. Zaleen, who's running the Bay Area host committee. You guys just hosted the Super Bowl and the NBA All-Star game. What'd you guys see? What'd you do? What worked? What didn't work? I went out to the Super Bowl to just kind of see how it worked. I went to the Winter Olympics, right? For me, a lot of putting on an event is going to events. My wife likes to yell at me saying that like that's not work. But at the end of the day, like it's fun, but it is also work, right? Like you can't put on a big event without going to an event. During Club World Cup, I mandated all of our staff go to the games and take public transportation there, right? See what the journey is like. Walk around the stadium, see what that's like. Don't just use your credential to get in. Stand online. See what it's like to kind of go through everything. Maybe you'll see something that gives us an idea on something else we can sell, something else that can make something more efficient, right? You've got to look and feel and be a part of these events. And that's the only way you can put something like this on. And so talking to the other host city CEOs who have put on different events, who have different maybe type of stadiums or type different transportation networks, maybe they have a great idea that we can take.
I just did my show from Citi Field there in New York. And one of the great things about Citi Field is the various food offerings. I'm wondering, again, you've got people coming in from all over the world. You've got this melting pot, the biggest global event. Are there going to be any special food offerings at the World Cup?
Um, my I haven't actually seen what the food offerings are going to be. Inside the stadium is kind of all of FIFA's domain.
Okay.
So I'd probably leave it to them to let us know what food offerings that they're going to be bringing. But at all of our fan zones, at all of our fan activations, like we want to bring in local vendors, right? And something that we just announced last week was the small business rewards program. And what we're trying to do is gamify eating local. Visiting local small businesses,
I
visiting
love
local
that.
businesses. And so, you can go to our website right now as a small business and sign up to be part of kind of the rewards program and the gamifying of it. You can earn points that, could make you win prizes. One is an invitation to come to the final with the host committee.
Wow.
So like what we want people to do is experience New York, experience New Jersey. And, one of the things that's fun about sports is it's a game and people like games. And so how can we kind of gamify the entire experience? And so we've got the small business rewards program to people who are coming here, or if you're local, you will earn points by going to visit local businesses, going to visit the local watch parties, and taking part in the New York, New Jersey experience, win points and win fun prizes.
I love that. Last question for you. We're a few months out from World Cup. What's on your to-do list between now and then?
Everything. Look, like for us, we're in a very good spot. I feel really good about where we are from a transportation perspective, from a fan engagement perspective, security, and from all of that, right? We'll be announcing our mobility plan soon. In the coming weeks, we'll be announcing. We'll have our full slate of fan engagements that we'll have in the next couple weeks. So I'm feeling really good about where we are. I think, the thing that always keeps me up at night is just the unknowns, right? The things you can't control. I can't control the weather, right?
Right.
What do we do there, right? We'll have plan A, plan B, plan C for everything. But things you can't control, right? Does someone get a flat tire in the tunnel, right? And then what happens? Right? Like then we go to plan B, which is totally fine. But those are just the things that, that cause me stress and heartache and that keep me up at night. Again, luckily we're in a region where, we've had flat tires in the tunnel. We know exactly what to do. Like the team is prepared. It's funny. I'll talk to, someone either at the Port Authority or at transit, and I go, well, what happens if like there's a flat tire in the tunnel? They were like, well, don't worry. You think there's never been a flat tire in the tunnel before? We know what to do. And so it's like, okay, yeah, I guess that's right. So, we're dealing with pros of pros, right? The best of the best. And so just trying to also just kind of get out of their way, right? And let them do what they do. And, try not to be the dummy in the room. But for me, it's just the things you can't control that keep me up at night. I feel very good about where we are and the things we can control. It's just the things we can't control, and then making sure we're prepared to handle that situation, and that we've got the ability to, that we have the comms network to make sure that there's transparency around anything that's happening, so that we can deliver the message to everyone, so that there's no mass confusion.
How big is your host committee staff there that works with you?
We're at about a little over 20 people. We'll probably end at a little over 30. And, with a number of, again, consultants and we'll have over 5,000 volunteers. And, so this thing, it becomes a massive organization, not to mention all the people that FIFA have on their staff. So it's big. And then July 20th, it shuts down.
Alex Lasry, the CEO of the FIFA World Cup 2026 New York, New Jersey host committee. I've wanted to have someone on from the host committee. You're the biggest one. You're hosting the final. Alex, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me on Sports Business Radio.
Thanks so much for having me.